Hello, everybody, and welcome to We View. My name is Andrew Perez.
My name's Ryan Mullis.
And before we get into the show today, Ryan, what is your favorite superhero movie?
My favorite superhero film is got to be probably like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I also like The Dark Knight. It's pretty high up there. What about you?
My favorite superhero movie would definitely have to be Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire. It's a beautiful mix of Sam Raimi's cinematography and Danny Elfman's amazing score as a soundtrack. And I also really like that new Spider-Man movie, Across the Spider-Verse,
Oh, yes.
the animated one. That was very good.
It was really good, and I saw that in the UC Theater. And speaking of superhero films and the UC Theater, me and Andrew went down to the UC Theater to go see the newest DC superhero film, Blue Beetle.
So, what did you think about Blue Beetle, Ryan?
I thought it was pretty good. I'm in an awkward space right now when it comes to superhero films. I'm experiencing superhero fatigue, like a lot of people are, I imagine, with all overstimulating content and all that stuff. But I actually thought this was a pretty adequate effort by DC. I thought the action was pretty good. I thought the CGI was actually really adequate. I didn't think it didn't stand out as a negative. I also liked how every scene, it was kind of obvious they were shooting on locations and stuff like that. It's not like a big CGI environment like you would see in a lot of these Marvel films that kind of sap a lot of the enjoyment for me. But I also really like the acting. What's his name? Zolo?
Zolo.
Yeah, he did a pretty adequate job as Blue Beetle, I would say. It's one of his first major feature films as well, so that was pretty well done from him. I like George Lopez. I'm not a big George Lopez fan. Never really was.
Oh, I love George Lopez.
But we could talk about it later. But George Lopez, I actually thought he was really good in this movie. I thought he brought a lot of necessary humor to it. I thought his charisma was really well done. I liked his character a lot. Susan Sarandon plays the villain in this. I thought she was okay, but she's definitely playing the role of the villain, and she's doing it adequately. What did you like about this movie?
I really liked the special effects. I thought they did really good. They definitely shot on a lot of locations. One of them was actually a fort in Puerto Rico that I've been to, so I did appreciate that.
Oh, that's nice.
I really liked the sets that they used. Really good CGI. I'm a little burnt out from the Marvel CGI we've seen the last couple years. Not too good, but I definitely think that this one was pretty good. They had a lot of special effects, which I appreciate, and I can tell that it was like a real suit that they built. Yeah. I thought the main actor, Zolo, was really good. Especially, it is one of his first, I think it might be his first movie.
Oh, yeah.
He did a really good performance. He really brought the emotion, and I could really connect with him as well. I did not like the villain as much. I thought it was a little weaker, but I really liked the soundtrack. I'm a big soundtrack guy, big music guy. And I really liked it. They had Cypress Hill. They had some really good stuff. Of course, it's a Hispanic superhero movie, so they had some Hispanic songs as well.
Yeah.
Some salsa. It was pretty good. But overall, I thought it was pretty good. It was fun. Speaking of fun, George Lopez, very good actor. I like him personally. Okay. I thought he was very funny. I thought he did a good job.
He's a funny comedian.
He is. Yeah, he's a good comedian.
I just never really jived with a lot of the projects he did.
I understand that. He's had definitely a lot of flop movies, but I thought he was good in this movie. I thought most of the actors' movies were good, and especially with the emotion at the end of the third act with the whole big battle and him wanting to get revenge. I thought it was very good.
Yeah.
So Ryan, what were your dislikes about the movie? What are your critiques?
My major dislikes of this feature is that it's not really reinventing the wheel. If you've seen a superhero film before, you've seen Blue Beetle. It's very conventional. Guy gets powers. He's struggling with responsibilities and how to handling that power, and what this power entails. But along the line, he learns to discover how to use it, how to protect his family, and stuff like that, and becomes the superhero by the end of the day. So it is pretty formulaic. I also really didn't jive with some of the humor at the end of the movie whenever it was getting a little bit more emotional. It's not the worst offender I've seen of that. That would be Thor: Love and Thunder. That would be the worst offender.
That was a very bad movie.
Did not ride that tightrope at all, and it suffered for it. But I thought the humor did bring it down a little bit. It's like it's probably not an appropriate time to be cracking jokes, especially during a very crucial moment. I won't spoil it at all.
I agree.
What were some of your negatives?
I definitely agree. The humor, very like that safe, clean kind of Marvel humor we've kind of expected to see over the last couple years, like the "oh, he's right behind me, isn't he?" kind of humor. That's like maybe a chuckle or two in the movie, but other than that, I thought the jokes were pretty funny, especially towards the beginning. I was laughing quite a lot, but definitely at the end where there's like crucial moments when they're crying and stuff. It just then they crack a joke like 10 seconds later. I'm like, okay, I would like to see like the drama fill out the scene. You know, it was a little annoying. Also, for critiques, I guess it is very, like you said, it's not really inventing the wheel. If you've seen Ant-Man or Spider-Man, this is basically just that. It has that like young male protagonist who loses something and he has to go on this quest to avenge somebody or, find his true potential. Kind of very giving like Spider-Man, or kind of giving like that Shonen Jump vibe, like maybe like One Piece a little bit. It's just very like, I've seen it a lot, very young male protagonist goes on adventure. I'm sure everyone has seen that quite a lot. Exactly. And I would have liked them to go in a more artistic art style. Like, I think some of the directing was very good, but I think, like, most of the scenes were very just basic, just, like, their heads or their shoulders. Like, I want to see more artsy, like the new Spider-Man movie. Oh, yeah. They had a lot of creative shots. I would have liked to see more setting shots, definitely.
You want something with a more distinct style. Like
yeah, exactly. It just kind of felt right into the mix of other DC or Marvel movies. Nothing too crazy with the directing.
Exactly.
But I don't really have any crazy critiques. I didn't find it super bad, but I also didn't find it super great either. It's just kind of in the middle of good, Yeah,
it's not an Oscar contending film or critically acclaimed film that you're just gonna that's gonna leave you with like a bunch of thoughts, and it's a relatively entertaining superhero film. Yeah. And I think in an age where superhero films are kind of suffering a little bit from as I mentioned before, the superhero fatigue and the what's the right word? It's like over stimulation of superhero content. I didn't think this was like the worst offender. It's definitely not even like a bad film. I think it's a pretty good film, actually.
I do think it's good too. I definitely agree. Ever since after Endgame, like Marvel and DC has been pumping out a lot of projects. You'll get really good projects like the Batman or the Suicide Squad or the new Spider-Man, of course. But you also get a lot of bad projects like Thor: Love and Thunder or the Marvels, like just projects that are just kind of okay, not that great. And there's just kind of so many projects at once that's falling into just like the mid, not that great category,
I will say I did like how this film incorporated some social commentary, especially about I guess gentrification and colonialization. I thought that was really well handled. So it's definitely tackling some subjects that other superhero films wouldn't really tackle too. So I'm gonna give Blue Beetle some credit for that. I just wanted to squeeze that in as like a little positive, but
I do agree, especially him after college, how hard it is to find a job. I definitely see that. I do appreciate that they incorporated that as well, and also the colonization of just pushing back for the middleman or the big man. I do appreciate that.
Yeah, but overall, I thought it was a really good movie. You want to give out scores?
Yes,
for this?
I'm gonna give it out of 5. I'm going to give it a 3.5 to a kind of 3, so I'm going to give it a 3.5. I thought it was very good. I would recommend it to others. I had a good time. I think you'll have a good time if you watch this. It's a fun movie. Don't go into it expecting something way too serious, but I had fun. I'm sure Ryan had fun. It was a good movie, so I'll give it a 3.5. What about you?
Yeah, I think I'm in the same ballpark. I initially gave this what was it? A 3.5 on Letterboxd, and as I'm talking about it right now, I might go lower to a 3 stars. So right now it's more of a strong 3 stars to a light 3.5, somewhere around that ballpark.
But I thought overall it was pretty good. And if you want a fun watch or a superhero movie that's a little different from the others, I would have to recommend Blue Beetle.
All right. So now that we're done with the review, we're going to throw out some recommendations. So we saw this at the UC Theater, of course, and UC Theater showing films all the time. And one of the films to look out for coming forward, it's been delayed, but Oppenheimer.
In the next couple weeks.
Yeah, in the next couple weeks, Oppenheimer should be at the UC Theater. It is a long 3-hour Christopher Nolan epic, so be prepared for that. But it's a wonderful film. I saw it over the summer. It's one of my favorite films of the year, so I highly recommend it.
I definitely agree. I saw it over the summer as well. Definitely do not buy drinks before. Yeah. It was very, very good, though. No CGI at all special effects, which is very memorizing. And if you've watched a Christopher Nolan movie, you know how good he is with directing. I thought the cinematography was perfect. Definitely one of my favorite movies of the year.
Exactly.
Highly recommend it.
Yeah, and as for films that are coming to streaming very soon, I believe Apple TV, if you have a subscription to that, Killers of the Flower Moon by Martin Scorsese is coming out. Another 3-hour movie, but it's a bit different because you can pause it and do something else. Probably watch it in chunks if you can find the appropriate time. Or you can watch it all the way through. It's either way. It's a critically acclaimed film. I haven't seen it yet. I'm very excited to see it. I love Martin Scorsese. I think he's one of the finest filmmakers.
Can't go wrong with Scorsese at all.
I'm anticipating a massive 3-hour epic.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely it's a much more serious movie. You're not going in that to find comedy at all. It's a very serious topic. But I am very excited for that. Scorsese can do no wrong in my heart. Yeah. One of the GOATs, as they say, of all time. And I'm very excited for this movie.
All right.
And also, Ridley Scott's new movie, Napoleon, coming to theaters. If you want to go to Catamount Cinemas down the road, they're showing that this weekend, actually.
Nice.
I'm very excited for that. Ridley Scott, Joaquin Phoenix, who was the Joker, speaking of superhero movies. Very, very good actor, and I'm very excited for that. It's another long, epic 3 hours.
Yeah, it's going to be 3 hours, too.
A lot of 3-hour movies these days.
What is that about?
I don't know. I guess they like to take their sweet time now.
Yeah, I hear it's about streaming services, so that they keep you on. Like,
that's true.
Don't cancel them after a week or something.
That's fair. You know? But I love going to the theater. I hope they don't stop that.
Oh, absolutely. Theater experience.
It's the best experience ever. Get the popcorn, enjoy the movie.
Exactly.
It's really good. Well, that'll be it for us. Me and Ryan. Thank you for tuning in, and keep watching movies.
Yes. All right.